beautiful shoes. Come on up. Okay, so what we do is we light the candles. Right? You can sit down. You can sit or stand, whatever you want to do. Either one is totally fine. Now, when we light the candles, what happens is it officially becomes Shabbat. So what we do is we light the candles, and then we close our eyes, we say the blessing, and then we open our eyes, and it's as if the candles were magically lit while our eyes were closed.
Our one is
You're right, we're going to do that next. That was really good. You ready? We're going to bring the warmth of the Shabbat candles towards us 3 times for ourselves, for our family, and for our friends. Okay? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We open our eyes. Shabbat Shalom! It's Shabbat! All right, I'm going to get my guitar, and we're going to sing as we go to the other room for Kiddush and Motzi and pizza. Kiddush and Motzi and pizza. Oh, sounds so yummy. Let's go. Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
I have juice.
knowing that she was coming, like, you
Yeah,
had
yeah,
to know.
anyway, and I think if we had mentioned it, she would have come, for
Right.
sure.
Right. Let me give you this.
Is he here tonight too?
He's here, and we're having this Pink Shabbat.
Right.
So the readings, we have all the readings in, but if we're running low on time, we're just gonna cut as we go.
Okay.
And then, do you have the, you do, I have the tricks.
This was, yeah, this is in the package that we gave me, that the kids possibly, so.
This one I don't know about the kids. I feel like this might just be for us.
Carol. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. The whole entire world is a very narrow bridge, a very narrow a very narrow bridge. The whole entire world is a very narrow bridge, a very narrow bridge, a very narrow bridge. But the main thing is to recall, is to have no fear at all. But the main thing is to recall, is to have no fear at all. Yai, lai, 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 ya, lai, la, lai, lai, la, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 ya, lai, la, lai, ya, la, lai, 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 lai. Kol haolam kulo, gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od. Kol haolam kulo, gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od.
Well, those words come to us from Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav. The whole world, he writes, is a narrow bridge. The most important thing is not to be afraid. We know that there are many different things in our lives that might bring us fear, and so it's important that we come together. Because when we are together, it's a little bit harder to feel that fear. It's a little easier to feel that strength, and so tonight, as we gather for Shabbat, always to come together for that strength. You may notice that some of us are wearing a very particular color in addition to our blue for tonight. And that's pink, right? And the pink is there because this is Pink Shabbat. I almost said this is the first of the World Series, but that's another thing. We're wearing pink tonight because this is Breast Cancer Awareness Shabbat. We know that there are members of our community who have walked down that narrow bridge. And we know also that the way to not be afraid is to, not to have to walk that bridge alone. So tonight, we're going to have the opportunity to hear some readings woven into our service. We're going to lift up the cause and the challenge of breast cancer and lift up the awareness of the work that is done in it and lift up the trials for the members of our community who have walked again on that bridge. And the hope is that we'll be able to walk together. We'll find a little bit less fear in doing so and perhaps find a little bit of healing and strength along the way. To start out our service this evening, we have a reading, She Who Wears a Pink Ribbon. I'd like to call up
Diane.
Our reader.
Oh, right here? Yeah. Anywhere. Wherever you want.
Right in the middle, okay.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Okay. This is on. Yes, the name of the poem is She Who Wears a Pink Ribbon. And it was written by Susie Toronto in 2001. Some women face the impossible, an internal battle for life that connects them with strength they never knew they had, an opportunity to reach further than they ever dreamed possible. With the heart of a true survivor, she sets the course of her journey, expanding her horizons to share the knowledge of her quest with those around her, helping them on their journey, teaching early detection through self-awareness, fostering prevention through education. But most of all, she serves as a shining example of how to survive. Her constant prayer, a cure in her lifetime, for herself, her daughters, and her friends. She wears a pink ribbon.
Amen. Thank you so much.
We know there is strength in being together, and so thank you for offering those words, allowing us to hold as one. We're going to continue with the words of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem bring to mind what might be ministering angels coming and joining us on Shabbat, accompanying us in our lives. And for those of us who have been on this bridge, gone through these trials, there are certainly angels that walk with us on those moments as well. The medical providers, friends, and family. And so this evening, as we sing these words, saying Shalom Aleichem, that we welcome these angels, I invite us to give thanks for them as well. We'll find the words for Shalom Aleichem on page 24 of our prayer books.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ba'achem LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Barchuni LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Seitchem leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Well, we continue on page 20 of our prayer books, calling into this space Shabbat. Not yet, but when we get to the final verse of our prayer, we'll turn to the door through which we entered our sanctuary, welcoming in Shabbat as if she were here to join us on her wedding day. Let's sing together, page 20.
Lecha dodi likra kala penei Shabbat nekavla. Lecha dodi likra kala penei Shabbat nekavla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet ve'litila. Lecha dodi likra kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha dodi likra kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech mi ori. Uri, uri, shida beri. Kevod Adonai alaych nigla. Lecha dodi likra kala. Penei Shabbat nikavla. Lecha dodi likra kala. Penei Shabbat nikavla. Please rise and face the door as we welcome in the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam besimcha uvzola. Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, lecha dodi, likra kala, penei Shabbat nikavla. Lecha dodi, likra kala, penei Shabbat nikavla. Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei HaShalom.
Please be seated. Well, each and every Shabbat, as we gather together, we take a moment of normal and familiar and allow it to bring us into this holiday and at the same time remind us of what is not normal, what is different in our lives right now. And so our hearts are with those members of our extended community who are in the Middle East. And you'll notice that we have our usual 2 Shabbat candles, but we additionally have a blue candle here. Each and every Shabbat, we light this as a reminder and a reflection that this, again, is not a normal time for us. With this candle, we call home the still 101 hostages taken on October 7th, calling for each of them to find their safe way back home, and for all who are in a position of power to do everything they can to make that a reality. And so I offer this prayer for Israel. Our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessing for the state of Israel and for all of Israel's inhabitants. Source of life, bless and strengthen those who defend the land, ensure their safe and speedy return home. Protect them and guide them. Holy and blessed one, show Israel's leaders your path so that they may act with wisdom, courage, and dedication, and that they may be unwavering in their pursuit of peace. Strengthen their hearts, but keep them from hardening. Freer of the captives, return all those who are kidnapped safe and sound to their homes, without the spilling of more innocent blood, without any more souls being tarnished by horrific acts. Master of compassion, help us hold the humanity and the heartache of the Jewish people, while also holding the humanity and the dignity of the Palestinian people. As we are made in your image, remind us of your ways. Spread over us your shelter of peace and fulfill the vision of your prophets. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not take up sword against nation. They shall never again know war. Together let us say, Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai
We continue on page 28 of our prayer books, page 28 with a call to one another saying that this evening, this holiday is quite simply not the same without one another. And so we continue with the words of the Baruch Hu. Invite us to please rise in body or in spirit.
Lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who created all order and separation, the continuum of time and space, this very real world in all of its frailties. As day becomes night, let us take a breath of fragrant air and throw a handful of stars at the night sky so that we may dare to wonder. Let us thank you for giving us this gift of darkness so that we may find the little cracks and crevices where the light can creep in, if we step aside long enough to create holy space. For you are within and without, the first courageous act of creation, the glorious sound of our song, and the embodiment of all our sorrows. You set all the earth in motion just by willing it into being, and we, small and yearning, are tasked to embrace at once both the light and the dark. Page 32, we have Ahavat Olam, and I just want to let you know this is a new melody. And it's a little complicated to sing it as a nigun a few times because it's got two different melodies. It switches back and forth. So I think it's something you just need to hear a few times. And I think that in a few weeks you'll be singing along with me, but just listen. And when you hear that melody come back, even tonight, whether you recognize it or not, jump on in. But if you feel like you got it, I mean, sing along, but it's new. I hope you like it. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'layla ve'ahavatcha ol tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael. That's by Noah Diamondstein.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
We continue on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha V'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
Tonight we echo the words of Miriam so many years ago. Finding herself in a place of freedom, she opened her voice and said, Michamocha. How grand is this moment, is this world, and what a blessing to be able to share it. Page 40.
Bless you. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, osei fele, Nora tehilot, osei fele, malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch le'olam Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed. Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed.
Cantor, one of the many things that I love about that melody is that if this is a prayer that's meant to be sung at the shores of the sea, I can almost feel the waves moving through that space. For those of us music nerds, it being in 3 or maybe 6/8, it has that kind of motion to it. It feels like you're making your way through that space. And we have other melodies and other prayers that also conjure very powerful images to my mind. And the next prayer that we're going to offer together has a very similar power of image to me. Every time I hear this melody, I think of moments at camp.
Yeah.
Where you're sitting with friends, and either maybe there's literally a talit, or perhaps there's a talit simply of our arms holding one another. It's a comfort, a love. It feels like you're in a safe space. As we hold this Pink Shabbat this evening, I'm grateful for the talit that we have above us and this powerful and beautiful and safe space that we can hold. We'll sing together on page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
We continue on page 46. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Yai, lie, lie. Yai, lie, lie, lie. Yai, lie, 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 lie. Adonai Sfatai tiftach, ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, Sfatai tiftach, ufi agid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sabra, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava. Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lechoshia, Mashiv haruach, Umorid hagashem. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'agevurot, Umidomelach, Melech memid, Umechayeh, Umaziach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom, Yehallelu Selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Before we continue with our silent prayer, I'd like to invite up our
Jenny.
Jenny. Come on up. Our reader for our prayer for peace.
Oh, it's not working.
Okay. This is a blessing of peace from the Book of Blessings by Marcia Falk. Eternal wellspring of peace, may we be drenched with the longing for peace, that we may give ourselves over as the earth to the rain, to the dew, until peace overflows our lives, as living waters overflow the seas. As we bless the source of life, so are we blessed.
Amen.
Thank you.
We continue silently, either using the words on pages to follow or other words we might find in our hearts. When you're completed with your prayer, you may be seated.
lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol eir uvechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. We have a wonderful guest tonight. I'm very excited to introduce. Her name is Karen Lappen, and she is a certified and licensed genetic counselor at the Memorial Care Todd Cancer Institute at Long Beach Medical Center, specializing in inherited cancer predisposition syndromes. She completed her Bachelor of Science from the University of Washington in 2003, but instead of going into marine biology, she decided that she really loved people, so she ended up teaching high school at LAUSD for 5 years. And through her teaching, she discovered another love and another passion, genetics and genetic counseling. So she then went to get her Master's of Science from the University of Colorado, and she has been working with the Cancer Risk and Prevention Program at Memorial Care Todd Cancer Institute ever since then, since 2011. Over the years, she's been able to provide her patients and their families with guidance about potential underlying causes of cancer, and she has helped her patients use tools to make medical decisions along their cancer journey and help them be proactive about their individual risks for cancer. Karen is married and has 3 children, and she loves to travel. And I'm so happy that you're here with us tonight. I'd like to welcome up Karen Lappen.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova. Thank you so much for inviting me to come and talk with you today. Because it's Pink Shabbat, I thought I would focus a little bit on breast cancer. But if you have questions or if you have kind of personal stories that you'd like to share afterwards, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have afterwards. So I'll stick around and see if you have anything to talk about. So when we think about cancers and when we think about breast cancer, we know that unfortunately breast cancer and other cancers are very common. About 1 in 8 women will get diagnosed with a breast cancer over their lifetime. So it is an incredibly common disease when we think about the large population in the United States. Most women who get breast cancer fall into what we call a non-hereditary category, meaning we actually have no idea what causes those cancers to happen. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of tiny little changes that are happening within our bodies. And eventually those cells are able to start growing out of control and growing into cancer, but we don't really know why that is. And when we think about that process tends to take a long time. So we tend to see women with breast cancers at later ages. Many times we'll see people in their 60s and 70s and 80s with breast cancer, and that's why we start our mammograms when we're 40 and continue them annually after that, because the likelihood that we're going to get tagged ahead of that isn't very good. And so that's why in the general population, those are the recommendations for screening. And we know we're actually really good at screening for breast cancer. When women do their annual mammograms, we can many times detect those breast cancers very early. And if we detect breast cancer early, there is very good options, treatments that are available so that they are hopefully just a small blip in your journey and don't become anything too significant over the rest of your life. But then there are some other cancers and some other breast cancers that fall into a different category that are not random and are not sporadic, but instead have what we call an underlying genetic or hereditary basis to it. And those cancers don't always follow the same patterns that we usually think. And so our hope is if we can identify who falls into that hereditary category, maybe we can offer them different kinds of screenings, different follow-ups, follow them differently because we know their journeys might be a little bit different. And so some of the clues that we look at when thinking if somebody may fall into, sorry, thank you, no worries, into a hereditary category. One is how old is a woman when she's diagnosed with a breast cancer? If a woman is diagnosed at a younger age, when she's in her 30s or her 40s, that can be a clue that maybe there is something hereditary going on that could have led to her get diagnosed with a cancer. Another clue that we think about is if there is a man who's diagnosed with a breast cancer. We know that breast cancer does not only affect women, it also affects men. But it's much more uncommon to see a man with that diagnosis. And so when we start to see that unusual diagnosis, then that could be a clue that maybe there could be something hereditary. Another clue that we think about when looking at family members and family history is what other cancers are we seeing, if any, within a family? Because we know if something has a hereditary basis, the reason that it's hereditary is because they carry something that we call a genetic mutation, which is just a fancy way of saying that inside of one of your genes, there's a misspelling in that gene, and that's what puts you at that higher chance of developing cancer. But we know our genes don't come from nowhere. Those genes come from our parents. We get half of our genes from our mom, and we get the other half of our genes from our dad. And so if somebody has a hereditary genetic reason for their cancer, they must have inherited that from one of their parents. And so if you track along a bloodline, maybe you would see those similar patterns of cancers within a family. So maybe we would see many individuals with cancers at younger ages or more unusual cancers within a family, like a pancreatic cancer or like an ovarian cancer in a woman or a breast cancer in a man. And so those are some of the clues that we look at when thinking about these hereditary forms of cancers. And the reason why that can be really helpful is that when somebody falls into a hereditary category, we can use that as a really powerful tool. We can use that as a great gift for the individual themselves as well as for their families to say, your journey does not have to be the same as your grandmother's journey. It doesn't have to be the same as your mother's journey. Maybe we can start screening you differently. We'll start screening you earlier. We'll do different screenings. Sometimes there are surgical options that can help prevent you from getting a cancer in the first place. And so we can use this as a guide to make sure that we can either be proactive about catching cancer early or preventing it from happening in the first place. And so that's kind of the goal of what the genetic testing and the genetic counseling realm kind of holds. One thing that I'll also share is that, when we think about genes, genes for breast cancer are not only carried by women, they're also carried by men. And so many times we can kind of have these genes hidden within a family where they get passed on through a male lineage, and we don't necessarily see those patterns pop up as much as we typically think. Not everybody's family reads the rule book. And so sometimes you may have families that don't always look like how we would say. So it's also really important to be an advocate for your own health. Get your checkups. If you feel like something doesn't feel right within your body, take that to the attention of your doctor and get that checked out. And don't take, oh, it's probably nothing for an answer. Definitely make sure you get that workup that you feel is appropriate and the care that you feel like is you're deserved. So I think that's pretty much all I had to say. Thank you so much again for inviting me. And again, I'll be around, so if you have questions or comments, I'm happy to talk with you after the services. Oh, I think there might be a question back. Is that?
About 25 years ago, a group of women and myself set up the Breast Cancer Institute at Memorial Medical Center, and we examined over 30,000 women.
Wow.
And I have to tell you, people, that we saved many women's lives because we identified breast cancer at a very early stage. So it's
Yeah.
very important that you go to the doctor and have them examine your breast and teach you how to do self-breast examination.
Agreed. Get familiar with your own tissue, with your own lumps and bumps. We've all got them. But when you start to feel something that's a little bit different, then see if that's something that's going to go away quickly. And if it doesn't go away quickly, you get that checked out. So thank you so much for sharing that. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you.
One of the reasons that we come together is for healing, the opportunity to find strength in being with each other and calling to one another to take action so that we can begin those steps towards making our world and our own selves better. Karen, thank you for the invitation and the information that helps us cause more healing in our world. And we're going to turn our minds, I'd like to invite us to turn our minds as well to those members of our community who are in that same place in need of healing, in need of strength. If you take a look at the pamphlet that was handed to you on the way in to our sanctuary today, you'll see the names of members of our community who are in need of healing. We have always been a community that sees that the power of prayer is what it inspires us to do. And so I invite us in our prayer to be inspired to reach out if you see the name of someone that you haven't talked to in a while, or perhaps someone that you simply know could use reaching out to be a part of that healing, to reach out to them, send them a text, offer them a phone call. That's part of the healing that we call for this evening. I'd like to invite us as well to turn our hearts to those members of our community who have recently come onto our Misha Berach list. And if you're joining us online, I invite you to share the names of those that you're thinking of in the chat at this time. Together, our hearts are with Jennifer Hirsch, and Joseph Sleish, Rabbi Howard Leibson, Sean Scaramella, and Judy Judson. And if you are thinking of someone in particular on this Shabbat, it's our custom to invite you to rise and to share their name as my eyes meet yours.
Kim Byrne, Karen Bissonette, Seth Horowitz, and April.
Danielle Kleinman and Tina Vince.
Carlos Alducin. Chris Campbell.
Deb Zamora and Megan Coutinho. Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
Hail Narfana, Larfana, Lanu. Hail Narfana, Larfana, Lanu. Restore our strength of body.
Restore strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our light.
Rejuvenate our light.
Hail Narfana, Larfana, Lanu. Hail Narfana, Larfana, Lanu. Thank you for all these blessings
Thank you for all these blessings
throughout our days and nights.
throughout our days and nights.
We celebrate the journey,
We celebrate the journey,
this precious gift of life.
this precious gift of life.
Hail Narfana, Larfana, Lanu. Hail Narfana, Larfana, Lanu. Hail Narfana, Larfana, Lanu.
We continue now with Aleinu on page 282. Page 282, please rise in body or in spirit.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leyotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kehol hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Well, our lives are blessed with loved ones, people who come into our days and offer tremendous gifts of their presence, their time, their love. And we can't spend every minute of every day feeling the pain of their loss, and nevertheless, there has to be a time where we stop and say that we are grateful and that we are holding pain because we've lost someone near to us. And so at this point in the service, we take a moment to remember those who have died in this season in years past or in recent days. I invite us to turn our hearts to those near to Bertha Fox, and to hold in our hearts as well. The memories as we mark the anniversary, the yard site of the death of Harry Albin, Eitan Alpern, Sam Bender, Samuel Barrow, Margaret Browarney, Esther Buckholtz, August Bussey, Jack Cameron, Edwin Kogert, Mary Jane Duffy, Tilly Evans, Warner Florsheim, Mo Freed, Shirley Gold, France Green, Laverne Leonardo, Sam Levin, Florence Locks, Morris Lubkin, Edith Meltzer, Irving Mitnick, Frida Roberts, Ted Roslinski, Beatrice Saltzman, Harry Simon, Carl Strauss, Keith Taylor, and Saul Woolen. If you're joining us online, I invite you to share the names of those that you're thinking of in the chat. And for all of us here, if you're holding someone in your hearts, it's our custom to invite you to rise, to share their name as my eyes meet yours.
Michael Tate,
Wendy Cardman Roy,
I'd like to invite all of us now to turn to the words on page 294. Page 294, and to rise together and as one as we recite this prayer of mourning. Yitgadal, v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh, B'chayechon v'yomechon, V'b'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, B'agala v'izman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah meforach le'olam omel maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudisha barichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, Damiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, Amen. Zichronam livracha. May the memories of those near to us always be a source of blessing. I invite us together to say, Amen. Please be seated. We have a lot of things taking place this coming week. It always amazes me how much we have going on at Temple Israel in a week. And so I'd like to invite up a member of our board of directors, Scott Sterling, to share about some of the goings on at Temple Israel this coming week.
Good evening. Tomorrow morning, join Sherry Sanaga for our weekly Torah study beginning at 8:45 a.m. Torah study is offered both in person and Zoom and is held at the Temple in Alban Hall. Tomorrow morning Shabbat service at 10:30 a.m. is led by Cantor Cooper. Next Shabbat on Sunday, November 2nd, we have Shabbat Midbar at El Dorado Nature Center. Join us for Torah study at 8:45 a.m., followed by hike and meditation at 10 a.m. We have mini classes and programs that meet weekly, so make sure to view the calendar on our website. Please support the Rick Falk Memorial High Holy Days Food and Diaper Drive. Bring donations of non-perishable food or boxes of diapers and plastic bags to Temple Israel through the end of October. See the weekly email blast. If you ever have a question about how to attend one of our classes and programs, look for our emails or call the temple office, and our staff is happy to help you. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, other announcements. Ruth. I have a question. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes. Lunch and learn tomorrow at 11:30 with Cantor Dr. Jonathan Friedman. I was going to say that, yeah. Yes. Yes, there'll be Torah study, and then at 10:30 service, and then 11:30 lunch and learn. Come for the whole thing.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
for part.
and for those who haven't had a chance, I'll give a little bit of a plug for Cantor, Dr. Jonathan Friedman. He first of all, he grew up at Temple Israel, and so he gives lectures often about our community, not only being a historian himself, but someone who lived a lot of those experiences. He's his own primary source material. He also is an excellent and brilliant scholar, to say nothing of his powerful music. He is one of our very own Cantor Cooper's teachers, and he's an amazing teacher. If you have a chance to join us tomorrow at 11:30, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, and he literally wrote the book on Temple Israel.
Yeah,
So,
he did.
I mean, he really did. He's just wonderful. He's funny, and he's brilliant, and he makes everything so incredibly interesting. So I really recommend you come tomorrow.
Well, let's as we close our service, as we conclude our service, we have a tradition at Temple Israel that from the book from Dr. Friedman, we know it's been around for a while. I mean, in Jewish tradition, at least 5 years. It's been around for at least 5 years, so it's a long time. And that is, for our closing song, I invite us to, if we're sitting by ourselves, to find ourselves next to someone near to us. Some of us will choose to rise, to stand up. Please stand up. Find yourself next to someone near to you. Maybe place a hand on a shoulder. Let's be together as we close our service, offering a reminder of the peace of this moment. May it find its way to every corner of our world.
May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. 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 Descend on us, and the world will say Amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. Oh, say Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Amen. Amen. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen.
Thank you to our readers. Thank you to Karen Lappen for her words this evening. Join us just in the foyer for Kiddush and Motzi as we continue our celebration together. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
And thank you
Shabbat
to
Shalom.
David York.
Thank you, David York.
Beautiful
Always.
music as
Thank you.
That was the first Saturday night, right? Friday night, I don't know the time. That was the first Friday night, like regular, just Shabbat Friday night that we've done together.
It was the same. I'm standing here going like, Oh, it's really nice to be together.
This
Yeah.
was really nice, and it wasn't a huge holiday.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah, I feel totally the same. Yeah, I was sitting there. I was trying to remember. Has it been a while?
Because last week was the JCC.
Right. Oh,
And the
right.
week
I was
before
away in
that was
Michigan.